Now, there's a famous Welsh fable. Basically, the story goes that Prince Llewellyn and his dog Gillert were very close, man with animal, typical kind of love. And one day he decided to go out hunting, but he left Gillert at home to watch over his infant son in the palace. And after a long day's hunting, he came home, opened the palace doors, and was greeted by Gillert, who was covered in blood, as any dog would jump up his master, wagging his tail, panting heavily probably. He just saw all this blood all over him, so automatically he assumed the worst. Startled, he ran upstairs to look for his infant son, found that the cot was empty. So Prince Llewellyn, automatically furious, turned to the dog, drew out his sword, and slain the dog there and then. And as the dog went down, it gave out a last sort of dying yelp, which alerted a nearby sound of a child crying. In which case Prince Llewellyn went looking for the sound, followed the noises, and eventually found his son there, safe and sound, lying next to a dead wolf. And basically what had happened is the wolf had come in to try and kill the child. The dog had defended the child, killed the wolf, and the story goes that Prince Llewellyn was, so distraught he never smiled again. It's a sad story. It's a really sad fable. It's one of my favourite fables, but it's a real depressing and sad one. Now, talking about jumping to conclusions sort of thing, obviously that was the extreme state. That's sort of relevant to me last night on Twitter, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in a moment. But before I do, obviously I wanted to just explain, I've been away for a while, 4 weeks I think it is since I last uploaded, and people are sort of used to me doing this now. Once upon a time people used to be tweeting at me and messaging me, where are you, what are you doing, why are you not uploading? And that was when I was a smaller channel. Now a little bit bigger, I think people are more used to it and they just give me a bit of space, but it kind of came close to being at the end for me. Realistically, because it's just been a shitty month, and this last month has just been a little bit of a drop for me. And when you combine that with a lot of other things, because YouTube is sort of the place I go to let it all out. It's the place I go to lose myself and immerse into the commentaries and put videos together, and I'm very happy when I can do that. And I suppose realistically I've had so much time to do it, but I just haven't had the inkling or the want to do it. This is quite difficult for me to sit down in front of the microphone after a month. I did not want this to be the first video I was going to upload. There was an alternative video which was talking about the relevant situation, which again has been part of the whole thing that has just made me think, is this something I want to do? Is this who I really am? With the whole T Martin thing and the CSGO and the Pro Syndicate, gambling, swindling, lying to people, and basically getting themselves into a lot of trouble for being deceitful and promoting underage gambling, really. And I was going to sit and talk about that because it's relevant and it's something that I'm involved in, not involved in the gambling side of things, but it's in the industry I'm in, which is YouTube, commentating and stuff. And I can't help but look at my sub box and see everybody's talking about the same thing, and people have said, when you're going to do your thoughts about it. So that was going to be the video I was going to do. But I had to do this one because yesterday I made a very large Mr. Meander, and that Mr. Meander it was after a long day. I decided to get myself some beers. I sat in the house, I watched a few films, I played a little bit, when I could be bothered, and I went on social media, Twitter, watched a few YouTube videos. The usual stuff was coming up about drama. And I went onto Twitter and I started noticing things, and unfortunately social media and drinking does not go together. Because in one of 8 Thoughts' videos, I've got to be honest as well, just going off the subject a little bit, the whole situation with 8 Thoughts, with all the big guys trying to get him banned because he was talking out about them and telling people what shady, snidey fuckers they are, and he kind of went off the air, and that pissed me off as well. There was just a whole multitude of things. the YouTube purge, losing 600 subs in a day as I was getting ready to do my 30,000 subscriber video. It's just all been a kick in the balls. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, while I was watching 8 Thoughts' video, that he's shown a sort of little image of 2 people having a conversation on Twitter, and one guy turning around to T Martin and saying, are you not concerned about the FTS and what they would have to say about it? And obviously meant the FTC, which is I think the Federal Trades Commission, which deals with all the consumers, and it's there to protect them. And T Martin's response was one of a bit of a piss take. It was like, oh, it's actually FTC, but thanks for the legal advice. And then I noticed that, next to that was Drifter wading in, who waded in and said something like, oh God, spelling check. I don't know, I can't remember. But basically these 2 guys were laughing and ripping into this chap after he just literally turned around and, tried to give them a fair warning. And that got my back up. So I went on, I went on Twitter and I went on Drifter's homepage, and the first thing I noticed was, hey, doing a charity live stream, guys. Donate, it's all for a good cause. Now, like an idiot, especially regarding the whole situation and the instances that's been going on with the bigger YouTubers. Everybody's doing a sort of damage control thing, and I just thought, I didn't know what the charity live stream was about. I just thought to myself, you fucking prick, you're here doing something. Oh, look at me, I'm doing something amazing. I'm not stealing people's money, I'm giving back. I'm Robin Hood. That was how I felt at the time, and I know that was wrong because I didn't know the whole reason he'd done this live stream, but it was literally there for I think it's in Dallas, Texas. There were some police officers got shot, and he was doing this charity raising thing for the families of them. Now, if I would have not been like Prince Llewellyn, waded in with 2 feet going, oh, and waving my sword about and stabbing because I thought he was a bad person, trying to look as though he's doing some good, but didn't actually realise that this affects him because it's in his home state, and he was quite upset about it, then I wouldn't have looked such a dick. And unfortunately, there were so many people on Twitter, so many of Drifter's subs, a lot of my subs, the exclusive Ace, come at me and says, fucking chill out, man, this is a good cause. And I just looked an idiot, and as soon as I found out what it was for, I felt an idiot, and I immediately sort of apologised and said I wasn't sure of the instances, but maybe it's not enough. I was still drunk and I was starting to get bitter, and I nearly deleted my Twitter. I had the whole deletion page up. Are you sure you want to delete Twitter? We're sorry to see you leave. And I thought, no, sleep on it and talk about it tomorrow. So basically what I'm trying to say is, for anybody who's been affected by the whole the whole Dallas thing, and for anybody who sort of supported the stream, and for anybody who saw what I tweeted, I've deleted the tweets now, but anybody who saw what I deleted on Twitter, I am very sorry. I am legitimately very sorry. It's hand on heart, it's quite embarrassing, but I didn't know anything about it, and I guess I should have done my homework more. And this is a legitimate sorry. This isn't me grabbing hold of my Labrador's paws, looking him in the eyes and kissing him gently on the head, and then taking a deep breath. This is me saying I'm sorry for anybody affected, and I'm sorry to him as well. I really am. I'm a fool. That is all I've got to say about that. Apocalypse done.